The Project for Excellence in Journalism is a Washington nonprofit that examined 52 key newspaper, television, radio, and web outlets on coverage of Mitt Romney versus Barack Obama. And it turns out that media coverage significantly favored Romney over Obama. Now, of course, we have a completely liberal media, and Fox News are the only people telling the truth. Putting that aside for a second, there was one candidate whose coverage was more relentlessly negative than the entire rest. He didn't enjoy a single week where positive treatment outweighed negative by the media. Who is that, Lewis? It's Barack Obama.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Overall, this was not even close. From January 2nd through April 15th, okay, Romney's coverage was 39% positive and 32% negative, 29% neutral. Obama's coverage was only 18% positive, 34% negative, and 34% neutral. This means Romney's depiction by the media was more than twice as positive as the president's. But of course, it's liberal bias, right, guys? And the media is completely biased liberally. We'll still have Bill O'Reilly repeating over and over again that most hard news reporters and journalists vote for Democrats. Therefore, of course, editorial coverage in the media must be completely slanted in a liberal fashion. Of course, we don't buy that, do we? Right.
But there's also the trend that, well, like we stated before, there's no possible way that this presidency could be considered successful, considering what Obama had to deal with going into it, right?
In retrospect, you're saying. You know, I don't know. I don't even know about that. Do you agree with that, Natan? That because of the situation,
could be perceived. I'm sorry, could be perceived as successful.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Do you agree with that, Natan? That Obama's presidency, at least this term, can't possibly be seen as successful? I don't agree with that. There's many people.
I totally disagree, but I think it partially rests on what the Supreme Court decides about the health care bill, because that's probably the biggest piece of legislation, significant legislation that they passed. And if that's struck down, then it's going to be a huge dent in the presidency.
Again, we're talking about perception, Lewis. That's a good point. Depending on what happens presumably in June with the Supreme Court Affordable Care Act ruling, that could affect significantly how people see.
Just looking at any media outlet, I think it's pretty clear that the vast majority of them do not consider this presidency to be successful and tend to focus more on bad things, which everyone will attribute to that president solely, regardless of opposition in Congress.
They're following the Republican memos saying, talk about gas prices and attribute them to Obama and all of that stuff. No question about it. DavidPakman.com/May1. DavidPakman.com/May1. We are doing a new membership and hoodie package deal. Check it out. It's a great opportunity to get yourself both a one-year membership and a David Pakman Show hoodie. You'll also get the bonus show. Today on the bonus show, we'll be talking about the next Yellowstone eruption, possibly around the corner. We'll talk about some post-ceasefire violence in Syria, as well as a new blood test that could predict breast cancer. So go to davidpakman.com/May1. We'll take a break. We'll talk about so much more stuff and talk to Robert Applebaum, attorney and founder of ForgiveStudentLoanDebt.com after the break.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.